What if the biggest challenge in your relationship isn't about how much love there is, but whether your partner can even accept it? Think about that for a second. You could give someone all the affection, patience, and devotion in the world, and they might still push it away. Why? Because deep down, they don't believe they're worthy of it. Let's paint a picture. Imagine Sarah and Dan. They've been dating for 3 months, and things look amazing from the outside. 2 weekends ago, they went on a romantic trip to Paris. Last weekend, Sarah introduced Dan to her parents. This weekend, they're heading to meet his college friends in the city where he studied. Everything looks like it's moving forward. But beneath that happy surface, Dan is carrying something invisible. See, when he was a little boy, his mom wasn't really there for him. She poured most of her attention into his older sister. And even though decades have passed, and Dan is now successful in his career and respected by his peers, that childhood wound still lingers just under the skin. Here's where things get complicated. When Sarah starts showing Dan real, open affection, the trouble begins. It's not that he doesn't want it. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that at a subconscious level it feels almost unbearable. Because young Dan had to learn how to survive on emotional scraps. He had to toughen up and convince himself that love was unreliable. That people who offered kindness probably wouldn't stick around. That kind of deprivation shapes you. And here's the twist. When love finally arrives in abundance, instead of welcoming it, people like Dan get suspicious. They feel uneasy. So what happens? They start fights out of nowhere. They pick holes in the very person who's trying to love them. At dinner one night, out of the blue, Dan accuses Sarah of mocking his taste in books. She's stunned. She calmly reassures him, "I wasn't trying to make fun of you at all." But Dan doubles down. He pushes harder. The evening unravels. By the end of the night, the candle at dinner can't save the mood. They head home upset, Dan crashes on the sofa, and the weekend plans are canceled. All of it triggered not by sarcasm or disrespect, but by Dan's deep fear that Sarah's love might vanish, just like his mother's attention once did. Here's the painful truth. Dan isn't really fighting Sarah. He's fighting ghosts from his childhood. His unspoken message is, "You can't truly love me, because my mom didn't." And at the same time, he's demanding proof of perfect love. Not just good enough, not just human love with flaws. He wants Sarah to be flawless, because the hole inside him is so wide that good enough doesn't feel like it could ever fill it. It's like someone who's been starving. When food finally arrives, they don't just eat gratefully. They scrutinize it. They want the perfect meal. They complain if the portion isn't big enough, or the flavor isn't exactly right, because hunger distorts expectations. Emotional hunger works the same way. Dan needs to understand that his constant picking, his constant skepticism, isn't really about Sarah at all. It's about the terror of trusting something he's convinced might vanish at any moment. It's easier for him to sabotage the relationship himself than to risk being blindsided by another betrayal. But here's the good news. There's a way forward. The key insight of modern therapy is this: how we love today always runs through the gate of how we were loved back then. If love was inconsistent or distorted in childhood, we'll carry those distortions into our adult relationships. Until we understand that, we'll keep repeating the same painful cycle. Sarah and Dan's story is a reminder that love isn't just about chemistry, attraction, or shared trips to Paris. It's about history. It's about the invisible scripts we carry from childhood that tell us what love feels like and whether we can even trust it when it's right in front of us. So here's a question for you. Have you ever pushed someone away, not because they did something wrong, but because their love felt almost too much to handle? Or maybe you've been on the receiving end of that, loving someone who keeps sabotaging things without even knowing why. Drop your thoughts in the comments side. Love to hear your experiences. And if this video gave you something to think about, share it with a friend who might need to hear it today. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because we've got more conversations coming about the hidden psychology of love, relationships, and why we do the things we do. Because at the end of the day, love doesn't just ask us to open our hearts, it asks us to understand our past. And only when we do that can we finally set ourselves free.